everyone, it's Hannah and welcome to day 3 of Vlogmas, or the Corner of Craft podcast. It's a different video today. We have a podcast instead of a vlog. Not sorry about it. We still get to chat, we still get to hang out, it's all good. This episode of the Corner of Craft podcast is sponsored by Skillshare. Thanks Skillshare! But we'll chat about them in a little bit. By the time you're watching this, I am going to be on the train on the way to Manchester, weather permitting / new variant permitting, to see a couple of my friends, one of whom I haven't seen in 3 years. And yeah, we're going to spend time around the Manchester Christmas market, and that video will be coming out either Sunday or Monday. I haven't decided yet. Probably Monday, if I'm going to have time to edit it down. And then you'll get the video that I recorded yesterday tomorrow, and then a different video on Sunday. It's all good. We're flying by the seat of my pants. You can tell that already. Some people are very organised with Vlogmas. I am not some people. It's all good. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas so far. You've only watched 2 days of it, so. Vlogmas day 3! Diddy. If you are new, hello. My name is Hannah. If you're not new, my name is also Hannah, but also hello. If you'd like to follow me on social media, links can all be found in the description box below, along with any other information that I think you might need. Podcast notes can all be found on thecornerofcraft.co.uk. If you look down the side, it says podcast notes, and click there and it will tell you all the details that you may have missed in my rambling, and any details I may have missed in my rambling. We don't have any finished objects today because I fail, but we do have a new whip, so that is exciting. The Crit and Knit Cal is over. I will pop the link to the Google form for you to enter in the description box. And yeah, that will stay open until Monday to give everyone a chance to get their entries in, because I was meant to do it and I haven't done it, and so now I've done it. And yeah, of course I failed my own cal. Of course I failed my own cal, the Crit and Knit Cal. But hey, we can't all live in a perfect world. I cast on something new. I could have finished what I was knitting and then cast on something new, but no, I've cast on something new, and it's a present for Mario, so kind of needed to get it knit. But before we go too much further into waffling about knitting, let's take a second to talk about Skillshare, shall we? A huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this podcast once again. I very much appreciate it, and thank you to all of you who have clicked links and have made sponsors come back to me. I appreciate it so much, and it helps keep this channel going, which is all nice. It's all good. What is this collar doing? For those who don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community where you can learn all sorts of fun and creative things. There are thousands of classes available and new ones cropping up all the time, so you're never going to run out of stuff to learn. You can learn anything from video editing, painting, journaling, all the way over to organisation, time management, social media and that stuff. So it's good for business owners and also hobbyists alike. Whether you just want to improve on the skills that you already have or learn something completely new, there is a Skillshare class for you. You can filter the classes by difficulty, which means you won't be learning things you already know if you're a bit more advanced, or if you need the baby steps, you can get to the baby steps. There are so many classes on a wide range of knitting subjects, topics like colour work, and walking you through entire projects like cowls and socks and all of that stuff. So if you're new to knitting, or there's a skill that you want to learn, like sock knitting, then there is a class there to hold your hand and walk you through it. It's not as difficult as it seems. I spoke about this class in my last podcast, and I've now finished the class, and I very much enjoyed it. It was by Linda and David, who are a couple of creative folks, and it's called Insta Creative, documenting your creative journey on Instagram, and tells you alternative and different ways that you can post on Instagram, things you can share on Instagram, that, you know, sharing your life as much as you want to, and different ideas so you don't get stale sharing the same thing over and over again. Skillshare classes are great because it's more of a two-way conversation than a one-sided thing. There are discussions underneath the class, and there are projects that you can submit and get feedback on, which is great if you're like me and love feedback. I love feedback. Because Skillshare is built with learning in mind, none of your videos will be interrupted by those very annoying adverts. And it won't interrupt the flow of the class. Like I said, there's always new classes and topics cropping up, and there are even workshops that you can follow along with, and it's so fun, you're never going to run out of content. Skillshare have been so generous to offer the first 1,000 of my subscribers who click the link in the top pinned comment or in the description box below a 1-month free trial to Skillshare's premium membership. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and yeah, let's get back to knitting, shall we? So I'm recording this on Monday the 29th of November, and this time last year we already had our tree up and we were already feeling very festive. The festive feeling has taken a bit longer to enter our household this year, but we're getting there. We're hopefully getting the tree next week, which is very exciting, but it does mean the festive mugs have not made an appearance yet. I think I'm going to get them out on maybe the 1st of December or maybe tomorrow. So I've just got my Silver Spot ceramics mug, but the tea I'm drinking today is festive, and it's Bird and Blend Snowball. Now, the Snowball that I have in my cupboard is quite old, so it's not going to be as nice as a fresh lot, but you know, waste not, want not. And because I'm because I'm filming this before Advent, I haven't opened my Advent calendars, any of them, all 3 of them. Oh God, today. So you're not getting any Advent reveals, I apologise. But once again, we'll catch up. We'll catch up. Yum. This was one of the first teas that I bought from Bird and Blend, and not this one specifically. I have bought more since, but this flavour of tea is one of the first that I bought, and it's really nice. Link in the description box if you fancy one, or if you fancy some. So, knitting. Let's talk knitting. As I said, I don't have any finished objects, which is really annoying. For you, I'm sure, but also for me. Let's start with socks. Birthday socks, they've been abandoned. I'll go back to them at some point and knit them. But for now, they've been abandoned. Maybe when I have a break over Christmas, I'll get them done. But yeah. Living in my magical creatures. Little magical creatures bag. We've got Mario's socks. So we have one finished one. We've all seen the one finished one. Huzzah, hooray. This is knit out of Chromatic Yarns Sturdy Sock in the Lathander's Mould Red colourway, which was last year's Christmas Day colourway from the Advent calendar. And I did not write it down. So if you have a skein of that, it's truly one of a kind, because I have no idea how I dyed it. But we're on to the second sock. I was knitting this yesterday whilst helping Mario at a market, because Mario's business is now well underway. Very exciting, but we'll chat about that later. But yeah, this has been market knitting, because it's easy enough to do, and I just stick the ball of yarn in the pocket of my apron and I just knit. But yeah, I suppose I could sit and knit and then just get it done. Then I could wrap them up and give them to him for Christmas, even though he knows that I'm knitting them. He doesn't need the surprise. I'm making him stuff. He doesn't need the surprise, because yeah, I'm not actually that far away from being done. I could count rows, but I'm not going to right now because I don't need to. But yeah, we're getting there. So these are knit on Higher Sharps 2.5mm needles. For Mario, I do 72 stitches round. I think I did 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then the leg is 3x1 rib. I did a heel flap and gusset with the standard slip stitch heel because they fit him better, even though I hate knitting them. And then gusset decreases, and yeah, I've knit a bit of the foot, and then I'm going to need to keep knitting it, and so I get it finished. But the problem is the new cast on. Because of the new cast on, it hasn't been knit as much. But yeah, hopefully they'll be nice and long lasting, long wearing, because he's quite hard on his socks. Hence me always choosing BFL for him. I have a few pairs of socks upstairs that I actually need to get my speed weave out and mend. Yeah, which is very exciting. Someone commented on my speed weaving video informing me, mansplaining to me how what I was doing is not darning. And while I understand it is not traditional darning, it is repairing and reinforcing the sock. So, and also it's called a darning loom. It's a darning loom. What do you do with a darning loom? Darn. But yeah, I need to whip out my speed weave and mend a few things. Socks get holes in. They all apparently all happened at once. I think we had moths in our old house. Really annoying, but such is life. Right, shall we go into the other whip that you actually have seen? Living in my Busy Bees GB bag, D&D bag. This was my Crit and Knit Cal knit, and I'm telling you now, whilst at the time of filming I still have 2 days, I will not be winning my own cow. I did not finish. Why do I put the pressure on myself to knit things for a cowl? I do not know, but I have not finished. Don't even think I've knit that much further than the last time I showed you. Unsure. So this is my trilogy sweater. This is by Annie Haas. The pattern is This Bird Knits. Ooh, mohair up the nose already. It's a good start, isn't it? So this is knit out of Chromatic Yarns, the Sturdy DK, which is in Unarmoured Defense, which is just an undyed yarn. And then the mohair is in Reenie, which I might have to rename. But it was a Knit Raw Yarn Club colourway, and it was just so pretty. And it was going to be my autumn jumper, and I didn't blimmin' finish it, because of course I didn't. But yeah, it's really soft, and it's going to be really comfy, and I'm really excited to wear it. But I just haven't knit enough on it. Because the thing is, I know that once I finish it, I'm going to want to make more of them. And it's just quite a good staple. And I think it'll be quite good for sample knits for shows and stuff. But at the moment, it's taking me ages. I'm on this chair's become quite squeaky. Yeah, at the moment, it's just a body. I've knit a bit more on the length, I think, since I last saw you, but I just haven't knit it that much, and I just need to sit and do it. But because it's so cumbersome, it's quite a big jumper now. It's not like I can take it with me and suppose I can knit it in the car. But the problem when I'm in the car with Mary, I'm very often I am the sat nav. So I'm looking at Google Maps, and I don't want to miss what I'm doing because I'm knitting or whatever. So I just don't knit in the car anymore. But yeah, I've still got my cute Progress Keeper from Petite Knitter on it, and I've still got my dragon. I forgot to say in my intro, hi folks, I dye yarn and I make beaded stitch markers. My yarn dyeing is Chromatic Yarns, which was the socks and also this, and I also make beaded stitch markers, which like this one. I apparently have forgotten how to podcast, so that's what happens when you do one a month. That's my own fault. But I don't knit, as you can see, I don't knit enough to warrant me doing more than one a month. I used to do once a fortnight, and that was great, but I seemed to knit more. I don't understand how I did it, but I managed. Now I don't manage. Just in life. What is this? Oh, it's one of my hairs. But yeah, it's a really lovely jumper, and I'm very much, oh, I've also got a tiny dragon there. I'm very much going to enjoy it when I finish it. It's just a shame that I didn't finish it for the knit along, because it's just going to be so nice and slouchy and just like, Because so my DK base is 100% Blueface Leicester, superwash Blueface Leicester. And so whilst that's not traditionally the softest of yarns, I do love it because it's hard wearing and good for jumpers. But pairing it with the mohair, it makes it so, I'm not going to rub my face next, I've got makeup on. But it's going to make it so soft and so lovely, and that's one of my hairs. And I just know I'm going to wear it a lot, but I just want to knit it now. Oh, and this always happens when I podcast. I get a whip out that I haven't looked at for a really long time, and then I just think, oh, I kind of want to knit that now. But I have another knit that I'm working on that's a bit more urgent on the time than this one. As lovely as this one is, and as much as I want to wear this one, my other whip requires more of my attention, and I will tell you for why. So I know what you're thinking. Hannah, you've got so many lovely project bags. Why is this in a woolen tote bag? Well, I don't know. It just is. It's just in a tote bag. It was in a different tote bag, but then I needed that tote bag to take some parcels to the parcel post box, and because they didn't fit in a normal tote bag, and that was a big tote bag. And it's just in that tote bag because I bought the yarn in Nottingham when I was with Grace. And then it stayed in there, and I just cast it on from the bag. But then I needed the bag, so I switched it to a smaller bag. But woolen, it's at least related from when I went to woolen that time in Dublin. Good times. I have cast on the single Malt sweater by Max the Knitter. Yeah, I am knitting it out of King Cole Forest recycled Aran that I showed you in my last vlog, and this is in the red bray wood colourway, and it's just a very nice red, and it is 35% wool, 20% acrylic, 20% polyamide, and 25% viscose. And yeah, it's a very affordable yarn, and I love that. So it's only £3.50 a ball, and it's Aran weight, but you get a lot of meterage. So I think it's maybe more like a worsted, but we don't have worsted in this country, so this is Aran. It's 300 meters per 100 grams, which is mad. So somehow this is an Aran, unsure. But I managed to get gauge with it, so can't be that bad. Because, well, it's not even worsted, because my DK is 225 meters per 100 grams. So I'm not quite sure. Anyway, there's a lot of meterage in it, but I'm guessing when it blocks, it might bloom slightly. Well, it does bloom slightly. Because I swatched. I didn't block the swatch. Who am I kidding? I'm not kidding anyone. I did not block the swatch. I know, shoot me. But I did swatch, and I did get gauge, which was good. The jumper in question. Ta-da! Oh, I want to keep it now. This colour looks good on me. This is going to be for Mario, and it's covered in cat hair already. It's just an all-in-one top-down raglan, and you cast on, and you do short rows, which were fun. I got a little confused because that's me. And then, yeah, you've got the raglan. This bit continues down, which is fun. And then it's just a really nice textured pattern. So it's like broken moss stitch, I guess. I don't know. But it's almost 1 by 1 rib every other row, and then you knit the other row, and it's just really nice and just a good, fun, meditative, not that difficult, not that mentally taxing. I can just sit and watch TV and knit a few rounds on it, and I don't have a problem with it, which is how I've managed to knit so much, you know? Haven't got bored of it yet. I'm knitting the 44-inch bust. Is it still a bust if it's for a man? Yeah, sure. Chest. There we go. And I'm on to ball number 2 of yarn. I managed to get quite far with ball number 1. I split for the sleeves, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had. I'd got a couple of rows past splitting for the sleeves with the first ball of yarn. So I'm now on ball number 2. I've only bought 4. So fingers crossed that's enough. But the goal for this is to get it done by Christmas. So either Mario can wear it on Christmas Day, or I can give it to him before Christmas. Because, yeah, we're doing cheap presents this year because Mario set up a business. And it's very expensive to set up a bakery. It's far more expensive to set up a bakery than it was for me to set up my business. That's for sure. But hey, it's all part of the fun. So, yeah, we're doing budget. This is me being on a budget. Because if I manage to knit all of this out of 4 balls of yarn, that's £21. And that's a £21 jumper. You'd spend £21 on a jumper anywhere. But yeah. It's not the softest yarn at the moment, but when it blocks, because I've felt a blocked swatch, it does soften up much more. But I don't think Mario is a sensitive soul. I'm a little concerned that the neck's going to be too high for him, because he doesn't like things up around his neck. He gets a bit grossed out by it, but hopefully it'll be okay. I think it's just because I'm looking at the short rows, and they look quite deep, but that's at the back, so at the front it should be fine. But yeah, I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing for a chunk of time and not get distracted by playing silly games on my phone like Pikmin Bloom and whatnot, which is what I've been doing. Well, not that you can really play Pikmin Bloom that much, unless you're walking, but that's it anyway. Yes, so I've split for the sleeves. I'm not looking forward to knitting the sleeves because I have a feeling he's got gorilla arms like I have gorilla arms. But I'm looking forward to finishing this so he can wear it, because it's really fun yarn. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of tweedy, and it's got flecks of different colours in, and it's a bit blue, it's got a bit brighter pops of red, and it's a bit tweedy and a bit nice. And I think you'll get a lot of wear out of it, because it's not going to be super thick, even though it's technically an Aran weight jumper, because this yarn isn't super thick. I know someone commented on my last podcast to say that they've gone down a needle size and they're knitting a larger size because they want a tighter fabric. But I think the looser fabric's going to be okay. Hopefully it just won't stretch out too much when I block it, but I'll just have to be sensible and not stretch it out too much when I block it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the knit, and yeah, I was going to say we'll knit myself one afterwards, but I won't lie, I'm not the kind of person that knits multiple patterns or knits a pattern multiple times, so maybe I'll get my mum to knit me one. But yeah, it's just really nice, and I might just keep it or borrow it because the colour looks good on me, and I've managed to knit it in a size that will also fit me. Not planned at all. A little bit planned, a little bit planned. We won't tell him. But yeah, so this is what has been taking over my life instead, when I should have been knitting this. I know. But worth it because it's so nice. And Grace has finally swatched for her jumper as well, for James, which is very exciting. She has a lot more knitting to do than me because James is like a whole foot taller than Mario. And so I can't really complain about Mario's gorilla arms when James is 6'8" and Mario's only 5'8" on a good day. He and I are the same height, Mario and I, so I don't know what height I am. I always thought I was 5'7". Mario always said he was 5'8", so, but maybe we're both 5'7.5". Who knows? We're the same height anyway. So yeah, I can't really complain about gorilla arms when poor Grace has to knit miles and miles and miles of arms. But yes, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, this is the single malt sweater, and it's just, I just feel like it's going to be a good staple jumper. I'm using 5mm higher sharps to knit this, because I've managed to get gauge, and yeah. I have, very apt, a little Game Boy. Oop. Let's see if I can get it focused. Yeah. Little Game Boy Progress or stitch marker to mark the end of the round. And yeah, I posted a picture of the jumper and someone said, I find it really funny that you're knitting Mario a jumper and you have a Nintendo Game Boy. I'm like, you think that I'm not doing this on purpose. I was doing it on purpose. But yeah, it's really old stitch marker now actually. It's one of the first ones I made. And the purple beads that I use are different to the ones that I used on this, because this one's like worn, it's like rubbed and faded. But I have some better purple beads that don't fade, so hopefully it will last a bit longer than this one has. But I've made some for the shop update, so hope you like it. Also, this is not very well done. It's very jiggly and like all over the place, but it's endearing. I think this might be the one that I made for the YouTube tutorial that time. But yeah, it's endearing. It's nice. It's old, it's mine, it's memories. You know? Anyway, that is what has been taking over my life. And looking at it, it doesn't look like I've knit that much. But it's been taking over my life, I promise. But yeah. And that's all I have for knitting news. I know. Disappointing. But hey, we can't all be knitting machines. Some people, you watch their podcast because they have a different project every week and a finished object every week. Other people, you watch them because, honestly, I don't know why people watch my videos. Hopefully because you find me somewhat enjoyable to spend some time with. I don't know. Shop news. So, I have finally done all the pre-orders for Aeropar Forest. I came down with a cold and it kind of knocked me out a little bit. Just because I haven't had a cold in almost 2 years. When was my last cold? My last really bad cold must have been after a yarn show. So maybe July 2019. I always get ill after yarn shows. I've probably had one since then, but I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just kind of like, it just kind of knocked me out a little bit. So I took some chill rest days, which meant I got behind on my dyeing schedule. And also my parents came up to visit, which meant I didn't dye a whole lot of yarn while they were here. But I finally finished all the pre-orders for Aeropar Forest. They're waiting mail sacks ready to be picked up today. So by the time you're watching this, some of you would have already received it. Other people will have them on their way. Post is going to be a bit slower because Christmas. But yes, I will be having my next shop update on the 11th of December at 6 PM GMT UK time. A bit of a later one today, or this month. Just give different people time to get stuff if they want it, and they don't have to set their alarm for the middle of the night, even though some people will have to, because what works for some people doesn't work for other people and vice versa. But yeah, there's going to be a melange of stitch markers and yarn going in. So I'm very excited about that. And yes, everything will be packaged up on the 12th, and then I'll have them collected on the 13th, which is last postage day before Christmas for North America, and before the last postage day for much of Europe. So hopefully you'll get them in time for Christmas, but we're in a pandemic, so you never know. Like, postage times are going to be a little bit all over the place, and that is just life. That is just how it's going to be, you know. But I might try and whip up some new colourways. I might do some tomorrow, which will be very exciting. And yeah, that's it. Shop update. It's happening. Clubs would have already gone live by the time I've spoken to you. I'll try and get them out the same time that I get all the shop update stuff out. So I'll try to combine orders where I can when I see them. If not, email me. It's easier. Anyway, tea. What have I been up to? Mario's business is doing actually very well. I don't mean to sound surprised, but you know, I did not know. I didn't have a clue what to expect. He's now done 4 markets. Four markets. His first market was at the beginning of November. He's done 4 markets, which is very exciting. His one on Saturday last week was cancelled because we had some snow. I'm looking at snow now. It's very exciting. But wherever his market was, they had a lot of snow, so they cancelled it, which is really annoying because they cancelled it at about 8:30, and he'd been baking for 4.5 hours. So he did an emergency shop update, and thank you everyone who bought some stuff, and yeah, we drove around dropping it off. I was his little van buddy. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday he had another market, which was quiet once again, but because of Saturday, it was good. It all balanced out and everything was fab. But yeah, it's going really well. And he's started doing deliveries on a Friday, and it's just all very exciting. It all seems to be happening, and he's got some money coming in, which is good because for all of October he had a lot of money going out. So it's probably a relief for him to look at his bank account and see money coming in. But yes. My parents came up to visit at the beginning of November, and that was very exciting. My mum, sister and I went to see Steps at the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham, which was a little surreal to be surrounded by people, but at the same time you had to show your COVID passport to get in, so it made us feel a bit safer. And then yeah, other than that, just been plodding along, basically making things for the shop update. I had a shop update, thanks everyone that shopped it, I very much appreciate it. And then yeah, just doing markets with Mario and having some downtime because of my cold. The cats are both well still. They're both being little monsters. I'm a little low energy today because they woke me up at about 10 to 3. And then I dozed off again because it was Kimchi woke me up, and then she jumped to the bed and snuggled down, and that was fine and lovely. Then Mizo came in and she's a bit less graceful. And then they started playing with something on the floor, and then yeah, that was it. I've then not fallen back to sleep, so I might need a nap this afternoon, but that's okay. I'll get this edited first. But yeah, other than that, Vlogmas is happening as well. It's not for me right now. I'm filming the first day of Vlogmas tomorrow, so I need to get into the Vlogmas mindset. I struggle sometimes to get into the right mindset, and yeah, but I need to do it. But yes, I'm very excited to film Vlogmas and share some Christmassy things. We do have some Christmassy things planned, but with this new variant, I don't want to promise too much and not be able to deliver because who knows what's going to happen. Yeah, who knows? It's all part of the fun, isn't it, really? But yeah, hopefully Mario will either work fewer hours this year, or if he works more hours, I'll be able to go in and help him. So it won't be as bad as last year, hopefully. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. I'm literally talking about nothing now. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you tomorrow. But thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you stuck around. Join the party that is the Corner of Craft. Follow me on social media. Links can all be found in the description box below. Don't forget to click the link in the top pinned comment for your month free trial of Skillshare. Let me know what classes you're taking, if you've taken any. Leave me a comment, let me know what you have been up to this month. It's been a long time since I saw you, and I'm very sorry. I promised studio vlogs and they haven't happened, and I don't have an excuse for it, other than I got poorly and I couldn't be bothered. I know! This is part of my job. I can't just not be bothered to do my job. I have to do these things. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.